Today I was part of one of Compassion Prison Project's trauma circles. So Compassion Prison Project goes to prisons and they teach inmates about childhood trauma. And one of the things they do there is they host what's called a trauma circle. So within the circle, they ask the inmates 10 questions that are from the ACE questionnaire. So the ACE questionnaire is the Adverse Childhood Experiences questionnaire, okay? And they have found 98% of inmates have at least answered yes to one of the ACE questions. So I decided I want to join this trauma circle because at some point I think it'd be really cool to volunteer for Compassion Prison Project, and I figured, if I could possibly host one of these circles at a prison one day, I might as well do it, and let me just see what comes out of it. To be honest, I wasn't sure how much it was gonna pull out of me because I'm a pretty positive person. Even when you think you know, you don't know. And I feel like I'm pretty self-aware. There's always room for growth. When I'm depressed, I have an idea of what to do. I know that it's a temporary moment in my life. Like, I have a lot of understanding of this stuff, but there's always room for growth forever in your whole life. There's always room for growth. So I joined not thinking that I was going in this because I had this traumatic thing that I had to heal. Well, I'm there and I'm emotional as usual. I'm emotional just when something's sad or when something's beautiful. I just want to cry about everything. So I was already feeling emotional. And as everyone shared things and the questions were being asked, all the 10 questions, it just, it started to come up. And sometimes you think you're okay because you've lived pretty good your whole life. Like, you just kind of feel like, oh, I've got this. But sometimes that answer, oh, I've got this under control, maybe. Like, we get so used to living our lives a certain way that we can't imagine or think that it could feel even lighter. And there are some people that can feel the weight and they can feel the sadness really heavy. But even when you think that you don't really need to do much work, like, you can continue to live in your life like that. But then you don't realize how much lighter you would feel if you dig deeper. So stuff was coming up for me, and it was beautiful to relate to some of the things that the others were saying, because a part of my brain is like, I understand the conflict. This is what it really means. Like, the healed part of myself that understands, okay? But then there's the part of myself that went through this. So it's like they kind of like fight with each other. And as long as there's that conflict, then there's still room for me to grow and learn. So by hearing other people's experiences, the part of me that knows better, that allows the healing to happen, it just like expanded. And instead of there being this conflict between what happened to me and the reasonable part of myself, it's like that reasonable part of myself just like melted the conflict, because the validation from other people's experiences was really helpful. And even though you feel like you know the answers, to hear other people validate those feelings that you have is just very healing. And I left there feeling lighter. And it's so important for me to understand more of this, because it just makes me wonder, how far can I go? And not so much on like what I can do that people can physically see me do, but how far can I go in how I feel?